Welcome to another episode of Wolf Talk. Today we've got another fantastic guest, the NEWQUAY Bomb, Brad Pauls. Thanks for joining us, mate.
Thanks for having me. Pleasure.
How's things? I know you must be busy at the minute. Big card coming up.
Yeah, it's good. In the thick of it, in the trenches. We're just under 2 weeks out, and feeling good. Hopefully, it happens this time.
I know. How's that? How have you felt about that? How's that affected things? Because it was meant to be in January, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was meant to be January. Obviously, it wasn't ideal, so close. I done all the hard work and sacrifice and everything like that, but everything for a reason. I managed to get a lot more southpaw sparring in because it was postponed, and things sort of clicked into place a little bit better. So maybe it's a blessing in disguise.
I know it gives you extra chance to, like you said, to work on extra things and put some extra training in. But sometimes is that not beneficial? Do you end up doing too much training?
Yeah, I think if you don't know what you're doing, I think you can burn yourself out. You can't live in the intensity of training camp forever. So it's good to sort of come down and then come back up. So I went on holiday for a week, still trained on holiday, like ran and stuff, and then come back and then just pick things up again. So I was refreshed by the time I come back. So yeah, if you know what you're doing, you're all right.
That's it. I mean, some fighters will just stay in camp the whole time when it gets postponed, and it's detrimental, and like you said, you burn yourself out.
Yeah, that's it. You can't live in that intensity, training twice a day every day. You need to come down and then come back up. So yeah, it all works out. It's all good.
You're not new to big cards, obviously, but how does it feel being back in the spotlight again, having this big
Feels
opportunity?
familiar. Yeah, it's good. Obviously, I've boxed on the Magnificent show quite a few times now, and it feels quite familiar. Obviously familiar with Queensbury, and it's good because there's a bit more of a buzz about it. And with small hall, you've got to promote it all yourself, but with these big cards, there is a promoter to do that job, so it's easier to sell tickets and get the hype. So yeah, it's good.
And how are you feeling yourself? Are you feeling like this is one last attempt to get to the top, or do you think there's plenty more to come from you?
Plenty more. Yeah, I think how I feel is the best I've ever felt. I feel like I'm still improving. I live a good life. I don't drink. I train every day. I think I've got years in me. Massive opportunity, and you're one win away from changing your life. And this is that fight where you're one win away from a world title shot. So it's loads to gain, and that's what I like.
Obviously, you're at this point now, but what we like to do with people is take them back to their beginning. What was life like growing up for you? I know you're obviously from NEWQUAY. What was life growing up there like?
It's pretty simple, with of a laid back lifestyle in NEWQUAY. No one's got any money. It's one of the poorest counties in the country, and I didn't come from a lot. Didn't come from a rich family or nothing like that, and just found boxing, and it just changed my whole entire life. I just got obsessed. As soon as I figured out it was legal, I couldn't believe I was allowed to do it, and I was just obsessed since I was 10. And really, really humble beginnings, and once I found boxing, it just took me, and I've not looked back, and that was 22 years ago. So I've had a good life.
What was school like for you there in Cornwall? Like growing up, was you sporty? Was you always in fights? What happened there?
Yeah, I'd say in school, academically, absolute nightmare. I think the school system is horrible. I don't think it works at all.
No.
I think I have brilliant characteristics and strengths and attributes, but in the school system was just completely nullified. Just felt like I was useless. Very dyslexic, but really I had the strengths and abilities to do really good things, but in school just killed them off. But luckily I found boxing. I was fighting all the time in school and a bit troubled, and pretty typical story really. And then once I just found boxing mental when I was younger, because it was like, fight that kid there in that playground, bad trouble. You're gonna get in big trouble. Do it in that room over there with gloves on, perfectly fine, brilliant, get a trophy. I just couldn't believe it. So once I got into the boxing, the fights in school died down a little bit, and had a bit of focus and discipline and purpose, and built my character, and just the best thing that could have ever happened to me was boxing, and it changed my life completely.
How was you first introduced to it at that young age? Who introduced you to it?
Um, just one of my well, as I was 10, it's when the first ever club in NEWQUAY ever opened. When I was 10, as soon as it opened, I was there. My friend took me there, and yeah, I just went to one training session. It was in the industrial estate right next to where I live in Treloggan, and I just obsessed with it. And I had my granddad. He's a scouser, and he was telling me, he showed me boxing on the TV, and he used to send me boxing books and stuff like that for Christmas and birthdays. And he like really promoted it to me, and he was like, "Oh, it's amazing," because obviously in the bigger cities, boxing's more established, and he was from Liverpool, so he could sort of promoted it to me, and yeah, and just obsessed by it from the start.
When did it turn from like this is something I love to this is something I could do going forward?
Um, good question. I boxed from the ages of 10 to 18 in Cornwall, but I wasn't getting nowhere just because the infrastructure of boxing in Cornwall at that time was limited. And I knew that if I went to a big city where a new boxing was bigger and give it a proper crack, then I'd see if I had what it. I knew I was half good, but I had to test myself properly. And by hook or by crook, I got into university in Southampton for the sole purpose of being able to box in the city. And I ended up boxing for Golden Ring in Southampton. And I just went on a mad one. I got there, I had 12 fights in a row, won them all, half by knockout, got a national title, got a national ranking, where I hadn't done anything like that before. But the infrastructure in the city, I was sparring national champions, and I just developed super quick because I had the opportunity to. And then yeah, when I was at uni and I got the national title, I was like, yeah, I can see this going somewhere then, because I was beating good kids and stopping everyone, and that's when it sort of turned a little bit.
Taking it back just a little bit from there, back to NEWQUAY, you said there wasn't much there in the forms of boxing. It just opened up with you. You will be able to tell me more. I'm more of a visitor. I go to NEWQUAY every year now. My favourite
Yeah.
place to ever go. I can leave the abroads. I can leave any other place. I've even got it on me now. That
Oh, I got that. Go on, son. Go on,
that's
let's play.
that's how much it means to me now. It's like my little peaceful place. But as a visitor there, obviously you know more. But I travel around there. I don't see a lot of boxing opportunity. And to be honest, with that, everyone just seems happy. How do people have the drive to even box there? I mean,
Yeah,
I
no,
grew up in Birmingham, so everybody's got a chip on their shoulder. I'm born and bred Birmingham. Everyone's got a chip on their shoulder. You can see where the fighting comes from.
yeah.
What is it with Cornwall?
I think the thing is with Cornwall, and I've thought about this a lot, and the difference is, I think that there's a lot less ego. It's like they all have no money together. We all have no money, so no one's trying to outcompete each other. So there's no ego in that sense, and it's more about lifestyle. And at the same time, everyone loves where they're from. So like I see on my social media, people putting up photos of sunsets and like, I love where I live. I'm so lucky to live here, and everyone's grateful and happy that they're from Cornwall. In other places, I live in Essex, and everyone's caked up, and it's like everyone's desperate to be somebody, like to stand out and have status. And in Cornwall, no one cares. They're like, right, you can be someone. I'll do a cartwheel at the beach and put that as my profile picture, and just they're not as fussed. And I love the mentality of that way of the Cornish people, because they're just a bit happier, and they're all happy to be where they're from, and they're just all more connected and all for each other, and the community's better, and they look after each other, and yeah, just best place in the world.
From a boxing stance, so is it still the same? Is there still not much opportunity in Cornwall, or is it growing?
Oh, it's 1,000,000% growing. So the lads I used to box with when I was younger, they've started up an amateur club, and then I see all these amateur clubs, and I've been there holding the pads and handing out trophies and stuff. Participation's through the roof, and these lads travel around sparring, travel all over the country, getting fights and doing box cups and all these things. And it seems honestly four times better than when I used to box. I used to be fit all season and box the same kid twice, and that was it. and I wasn't getting any better. But these lads have got a great setup, and the participation's up, and the coaches are good, and there's gyms, and I absolutely love to see it. So it's better than it's ever been, I think.
Is it something you think you've helped push with your career?
Maybe, I don't know. I don't know. It'd be nice to think so. And if I've left any sort of positive impact in my life, I'd be very happy. And one day I'll come back and do the coaching myself and pass on the knowledge. So yeah, it's good. It's good.
Is that maybe a plan to have your own gym in Cornwall?
I think that's the natural progression. Go on a bit of a winning streak for the next couple of years, stack up loads of money, and open my own gym would be a brilliant idea, I think.
Going forward, like you said, back to the university years. When did you think actually I could become something of this? And at the same time, how hard was it in them early days or leading up to these big shows? How hard has it been?
Yeah, it was difficult. I remember when I entered my first national title, and lads in my gym was like, "You might as well just pull out. This Traveller's in it, and he's won 10 national titles in a row, and he's had 60 fights, won 58." I was like, "You might as well pull out." And I was like, "Nah, man." And then ended up going beating him, and like, yeah, I just needed the opportunity to show how good I was, and then the belief sort of come with it. But it was difficult. I remember when I first got to the gym in Southampton, I got an absolute pasting for months, like Spanish national champions. And then after a few months of getting the pasting, it sort of started to hold my own, and I started to get the better of them. Then that's how you just improve. You have to. It's who you surround yourself with, and it rubs off on you. So it was definitely the right choice, and it brought me on loads.
It seems obvious to the outside, but the name NEWQUAY Bomb, where did it come from and who gave it you?
Yeah, it's when I went to uni. So I went to that gym in Southampton, in Golden Ring, and they just ain't ever seen a Cornish person before. And for the whole, I was there for 4 years, and I forgot I was called Brad. I was just called NEWQUAY. I was just NEWQUAY. That's it. And then obviously a few stoppages later, and then the bomb, NEWQUAY Nuke Bomb, I think was the idea, and then the natural progression happened like that. But yeah.
How hard has it been fighting, like earlier on, fighting on the small halls and the small shows and not making any money, if not losing money? How has there ever been points where you think I can't do this anymore?
Yeah. Is it genuinely any sane person would have quit a long time ago if they was me? Like, I remember it might have been 3 fights in a row, and like one fight I lost 400 quid, the next fight I lost 40 quid, and then the next fight after that I broke even. And in this time frame, all my pals had just bought houses, and they had BMWs and Mercedes, and I had a Fiat Punto that my dad gave me, and I had nothing. I had nothing, and I'm like, what? I've invested my whole life into this thing, thinking, is this actually going to work? Am I mental? I could have just moved back home and moved in with my parents and got a normal job, and it would have been the easiest thing in the world. But something told me to not pack it in and keep going. And I think if I keep winning, something's going to happen. And it would have been the easiest. Would have been easy to pack in during COVID. A lot of people did. And I suppose I was just a bit too stubborn, and I knew what I was worth, and I was going to, by hook or by crook, get what I deserve out of boxing. So I'm glad I did and stuck it in.
Have you ever had people close to you, not saying they haven't supported you, but on them early days saying maybe this isn't the right, you need to move on to something else that brings money in?
Do you know what? I haven't, and that's one thing I'm really happy about, is whatever I've done, they've backed it 100%. Because I believed it, they believed it, and you get a lot of people say like, "Oh, I do it to prove the haters wrong," and all these things. I don't think I've had one. Everyone's just been lovely to me the whole time. Like, my family backed me all the way. Family's never missed a professional fight, and everyone else who's just supported me, I don't think I've had one negative comment in my life. Everyone's just been so good to me, so I can't say I'm proving the haters wrong, and that I'm just doing it for the people who want me to do well. So yeah.
Do you reckon that's what's give you extra drive? I know you're driven yourself, but to make your family proud and then people that have supported you.
Yeah, massively. Yeah, you want to sort of repay them for like believing in you and sticking by you and supporting you, and for me as well, it's not just me; it's about Cornwall and making history for my county. And all my sponsors are Cornish, and all the times I've sold tickets, 99% of the time was Cornish people, and it's sort of bigger than myself. Sometimes I'm doing it not just for myself, but for the county. And the times that I've done well and won titles, it's first thing I do is to say that I've done it for Cornwall. And it's extra motivation, it's extra energy when I get in the ring.
I can imagine you've had a lot of backing from the Cornish people because it seems to be a all for one and one for all county. How much backing have you had? You know, you said your sponsors, but do you get mass watchings of your fights from Cornwall? Are they all proud of you?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe so. I always say, like, they haven't got no one else to support. I think I'm the only pro from Cornwall, so they're sort of stuck. Like boxing, you're Cornish. You're stuck with me a little bit, but yeah, like when I have fights and they're televised, I think 90% of the pubs in NEWQUAY will show my fight, and pubs all over Cornwall show my fight, and the messages and the comments and support I get, it's insane. And yeah, I can really feel it when I fight. And yeah, one and all is the saying, and yeah, it's correct.
I know you've obviously won English titles, you've won the British title, but I've seen you on a few different interviews and a few comments you've made about how much that British title means to you. Why is that
Yeah.
so important to you, the British?
I think because of my understanding of boxing is with some of the other belts, not all the belts, but most of the time, you can sort of be manipulated a little bit and maneuvered in a way where someone of a certain level can get some of these belts if they're backed and given the right sort of opponent. But with the British title, it's very, very rare, if at all, you're ever going to get a British champion that isn't actually very good, because you have to be really good to win a British title. And it's the nicest looking and credible belt because they just don't give them out, and you can't maneuver and manipulate your way into a British title because it's a very legitimate, the best versus the best belt in my opinion. So yeah, and the jump from a British title to a world title isn't far at all. So yeah, it's just I think it looks the best as well. Like if you've seen one and touched one in person, they're just beautiful things. So yeah, just absolutely love that belt.
Well, that's one thing. All the best people have held that belt, haven't they?
Yeah, great,
Anyone
great.
who's anyone has held the British title. Obviously, you got your big fight coming up very soon. What's next after? I know you don't want to overlook it. You got to get this fight out the way. But what's next after?
Um, yeah, definitely never overlook it. And I know I've got a tough fight with my hands in 2 weeks, and I'm the underdog, but that's how I like it. And but I understand that once I get the victory, it puts me. I'm not sure exactly how it works, but if the champion's been stripped, then I'll be 2 or 3, and then it's the top 2 versus each other for the vacant world title. So the winner having a world title shot is more than likely the next fight after this. And that's like what I said. You're one win away from a whole different life, and this is that fight where you're one win away from a different life.
Is that something you're prepared for if the opportunity comes for the world title?
Absolutely. Same mindset as always. Kill or be killed. Everything I've got, I'd fight absolutely anyone. And what an opportunity to change your life. A certain run of events could put me in the history books again. So yeah, massive opportunity.
And we ask this, but what is the end goal? What is the overall goal? What will you be happy with to say? I've hung up the gloves. I've set out and done what I set out to do. I would
Uh,
imagine you've already done more than you ever imagined you would. But what is the end goal?
that's a really, really good question. I suppose you've got to move the goalpost because a few years ago, my biggest goal ever was the British title, and I've won that. But for me, at the minute, is just as many belts and as much legacy as I can possibly get before I knock it on the head. And obviously, financially helps as well. Like it's a short career, so you have to get out of it what you can. And yeah, just more belts, more legacy is the main thing. The money will come after.
And after it's said and done, and when you finally do hang up the gloves, what's the plan after that?
God, I get asked this question. I don't never have a solid answer for anyone. I don't know. Might be a builder or something. I don't really. Bit of PT on the side. Honestly,
It's hard. It's hard for a fighter to see past it, isn't it? I get that.
It's honestly, I've never done anything else. It's the only thing I've ever done, and anything else I've sort of dabbled with, I ain't liked and I'm pretty shit at. It's the only thing I'm half good at. So the thought of doing something else after, I'm gonna have to do something. It's just what I'm gonna do. What might being a builder, I reckon. Can't be overtaken by AI then, can you? If you're a builder, it's a pretty safe bet. So
that's it, yeah.
Yeah, get a trade or something.
And obviously, open your own gym in Cornwall and get that up and running.
Yeah, definitely, and that's a natural progression. And if the numbers make sense, and I've got the finances to do so, then 1,000,000%, and bring some more champions out of Cornwall. Be lovely.
Obviously, for the next generation coming through, you've said boxing's changed your life. How does boxing help? How does it change people's lives? What does it give you? Apart from a headache sometimes.
Yeah. I think boxing is probably one of the last things in modern day society that can really help someone's life, where everyone's so, I want to say, sort of getting softer and offended and things. I don't know, but I think boxing's the realist, money in, money out. You either did the work or you didn't, and if anything can prepare you for what the real world and how tough life can be, it's boxing. And it'll make a man of you. If I didn't box, I would just be a little scruffed, not up to no good, 100%. And it teaches you discipline and hard work and respect and to be humble, and all the attributes it teaches you will help you so much in life. And when I have kids, boy, girl, they're all going to box, whether they fight or not. They'll all have to box because who it makes you as a person. Look at Mike Tyson, right? If Mike Tyson didn't box, where do you reckon he would have ended up?
Dead or in prison, one of the two.
1,000,000%. And that's what boxing. If that can turn someone like that into a champion who's a millionaire, that's boxing.
I say we're a big advocate for it. Boxing, combat, just something that kids can turn their minds to, right? Get them off the street and get them focused on something and change their life around. So we're big advocates for that.
Yeah, all combat sports, MMA, all of it. It's all the same discipline, all the same principles. And if it needs to be done more, they should do it in schools, and it should be taught more. And a community that has a boxing club is going to have a better community because it's kids off the street and it's putting your focus into something positive. So, yeah.
No, that's brilliant. And we wish you good luck going forward for this fight, and good luck for going forward with your career, mate. I hope you get that world title.
Thank you, man. Really, really appreciate it, and thanks for having me on the channel. And tag me up, I'll share it. And
no, really thank you. And ladies and gentlemen, the NEWQUAY Bomb, Brad Pauls.